welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I provide online divorce, mediation, and valuation services in St. Louis, Missouri. We're speaking today with T.H. Irwin and Jessica Klingbaum, the exEXPERTS, about advice and resources for divorcing couples. They're divorce mentors, and their mission is to educate, empower, and support people to make the best decisions for their outcomes. Welcome, TH and Jessica. How are you?
Thank you so much for having us today.
We are great. So happy to be here with you.
This is amazing. So I was actually on your podcast talking about divorce and other types of issues. And you have some resources and have been working with couples for quite a long time. And so I wanted to bring you on the show because I think one of the things people always have questions about finances, but at the beginning, they kind of have more questions about what is this process? Like, how do I do it? Is it right for me? Is divorce my option? Like, am I just upset or things like that? But I think that one of the things is to first tell us about your experience and how that experience got you to start exEXPERTS.
So TH and I met probably close to 30 years ago. Is it that long ago? Yeah. When we were both in college, even though we didn't go to the same college, because my college boyfriend, who turned out to be my first husband, was TH's best friend from high school. So she had come to our campus. She had another friend at that school as well. She came up to school and for Halloween weekend, and I had heard all about her. He had been talking about his best friend TH, his best friend TH. So she walks into the party that we're at, and I go running over to her. I'm like so excited to meet her, and I'm like, "Oh my God, you're TH!" And she just kind of looks at me and she's like, "Where's Darren?" And I go over to him afterwards, and I'm like, "That's your best friend? She's a bitch." She was
okay. So three sides to every story.
Off-putting.
I never heard about her before. If you guys don't see Jessica or know what she looks like, she's like this big, and I have one finger up. And so this little thing with huge energy is in my face. We're in college, we're drinking before a party. Like, who are you? You're in my face. I don't even know you. Why do you know my name? Where's Darren? Okay, so that was the other side of it. Just so I'm not always really a bitch.
So ultimately, once we had all graduated from college, because they were a couple of years older, we all were living in New York City. Obviously, TH and Darren were, still best friends. TH and I became best friends on our own. Her husband, who she ended up marrying, and my husband were best friends. Like, we got engaged within a month of each other, married within a month of each other, traveled together. Our sons were born a week apart. Like, we were living these parallel lives as best friends and couples partners for many years. And then we both found out within 1 week of each other, 13 years into our marriages, that both of our husbands were cheating on us and covering for each other. They were going on vacation. They would tell us they were going on guys' trips, and they were going and taking their girlfriends away as couples while we were home watching the kids. So that was kind of the impetus for both of us getting divorced at the exact same time. And we realized we were both young. We were the first of any of our friends going through the divorce process. It's an unfortunate fact of life that at a certain age, I would say like late 30s, early 40s, people start getting divorced. If they'd been married young, we were married really young. But at the time, none of our friends were divorced. Neither of us came from divorced parents. But we were going through the process at the exact same time. So we really had each other to lean on. You don't necessarily want to talk about it with everybody else in your life. People don't necessarily understand. And I don't think people want to hear the drama. And I always use the analogy of, it's like when you have a brand new baby and people are asking, "How's the baby?" And they really just want to hear you say the baby's great. But if you have a friend who also has a new baby, then you're like comparing notes. How many ounces did they drink today? How many hours did they sleep last night? How many diapers did you have? That's what we were going through as we were going through our divorces for a while. And we would say to each other at the time, like, we're so lucky. that we have this, because what would we do? It's so scary and overwhelming. We both had really young kids. My kids were 2 and 4. All 3 of Teach's kids were under 8. And like, what would we have done if we didn't have each other? And we would say back then, this was 14 years ago, you know, one day we're going to have to figure out a way to help other people go through this who don't have what we have right now. And that
because it's a process. I mean, it takes a long time. There are things, so like, okay, you find out that you're going to get divorced day 1, but the next 365 days or 600 days or 3 years.
Case, mine was really amicable and TH's was very acrimonious and long and drawn out. We started our processes at the same time. Mine ended several years before hers did. But like, even with that, like, we could always talk to each other. We knew we weren't in the exact same situation. It may look similar from the outside because of the initial circumstances, but it was totally different. But we always had each other's backs.
Yeah. But in general, the people around you probably were like, are you still talking about this? Are you, we're still talking about this. And yet it is relevant every day in your life.
Right.
You know, like TH, you had a longer situation. Like,
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
It was hard. And I did have a lot of support, and you also find out who your real friends are. I had a lot of support from strangers, but it was hard to know if they were my friend or they just wanted the gossip, because it was gossip worthy, honestly. So it was hard. My dad was there with me every day. Thank God for that. And Jessica, like, we covered each other. What are we doing our first New Year's Eve? What are we doing Thanksgiving? Let's arrange our parenting time, because we know the guys are going to want the kids together so that we have the kids together. So we're always covered for things that you might not think about, but are really big. Your first Thanksgiving. Holy crap.
Right.
What am I going to do? How am I going to overcompensate for my kids because their dad's not here? I mean, so it's a lot. So what's really great about our friendship is that we're really good listeners for each other. And for anybody out there, if you have a friend who's going through a divorce, don't say a word. Just
don't not bring it up. But
don't not bring it up. But if your friend is looking for a place to go to talk, just listen.
Right.
Don't offer an opinion. Certainly don't say what a jerk he is or she is, because we obviously know that. But we just want to be heard. And Jessica and I created a safe space for one another to be heard regardless of what it was. And, you know, the length of it all. I mean, even though mine took 4 years, 3 judges, a mediator, every expert in the book, I was dragged through the court system because I was married to a narcissist. And for anybody who is married to a narcissist, you should check out exEXPERTS, because we get it. And I now handle business with him. But anyway, so we had each other through the process. And I also had a really great therapist who helped me start to unravel everything that was being done. So it was a lot of moving parts. I was thrilled to be out of my divorce. When I found out about the affair, that's what set me free. I told her she saved my life that day. Jessica was not. Jessica hadn't grieved yet. I grieved years ago. I was ready to run for the border. But I had 3 kids under 8. Right. What's going on? What do you mean, new house? What's happening? Who is he? And where is he? And what is he supposed to be doing here? Like, managing that was really a struggle, because I wanted to be free and sing and dance and rejoice. And I had 3 kids with like panic attacks, and I don't want to go, or I had a bad time, or what do I do about this? You know, it's really hard to be in that situation. So long and short, we had each other.
Well,